Greetings YouTube, this is Yvette and welcome to our channel. Blessings to you all. I hope everybody's doing great. Now of course I have not done videos in a while because it gets to be a bit cumbersome, and you guys know me. I'm not editing, I don't have no music, I'm just straight to the stuff. Because personally I don't like listening to videos where people ramble on and they don't tell you what they're talking about. Today I'm just going to talk about that this is good information. But I want to talk about us growing our own food, how important it is to think about in the future. So for those of us who have homes or have places where we have some land, grow fruit trees, number one. Plant as many fruit trees as you can. I'm doing the dwarf variety in my yard because we don't have a huge space to do this. We don't have acreage. We have kind of an oversized city lot, and so we've converted we don't have grass. I took that mess out because I'm not growing anything that I cannot eat, so it's coming out if it does not serve a purpose. So it's important because they're taking seeds out of our food. There is talk that we have too many people on earth. Somebody decided that, they didn't leave it up to God. They've decided that themselves. So I do believe the way that they're building our homes today, they make it so we don't have land and we couldn't grow anything if we tried. I do believe they're going to starve us out. So if you can, plant yourself a garden. Start with fruit trees. I'm going to add more fruit trees. Last year we planted 3. When we bought the house, it had a cherry tree, and it has some nice cherries on that tree. They are finally growing. I use wood chips, the Paul Gauchi method. I use these wood chips. Back to Eden. Look up Back to Eden. Paul Gauchi, Gautschi or something. Anyway, look him up. But I used wood chips, and the cherry tree would not grow. Something eats my cherry tree, and it ate all the fruit off of it every single year, and I finally got this abundant crop last year. But the wood chips feed the lawn, so I am preparing to grow my garden this year. So we had, like I said, we put 3 fruit trees in last year, and I'm probably going to add another 3 or 4 because I'm going to put as many fruit trees in that yard as I can. And then I'm going to grow my vegetables in between the trees, under the trees, have a food forest. That is my goal. And so I'm telling you this because I know there's going to come a time where food is going to be a shortage. And the way that they build the houses, you can't, like I said, grow food because they don't give you a yard. These homeowners associations don't allow you to plant gardens. So for those of us who have places we could grow food, I would suggest we do trees and plant what you want to eat, or whatever you can do and barter with other people. But I'm trying to just plant a little bit of everything in our yard. I made a little note. I went to the symphony tonight, and the symphony allows you to do lots of other things while you listen to music. But anyway, I thought of the stuff I want to buy. Grow potatoes, onions, bell peppers, serrano peppers. I want a black pepper vine, grow my own peppercorns, tomatoes, onions, sweet potatoes, corn, lettuce, cabbage, carrots, cucumber, basil, cilantro, celery, eggplant, zucchini, green onions, garlic, ginger, turmeric, broccoli, squash, jalapenos. These are things we buy at the grocery store. I want to grow my food. And the other thing is the bus system that we have here in town. Oh, well, let me go back to this. Pharaoh had a dream, and his soothsayers could not interpret the dream. But Joseph did, and he told him about a famine that was going to come. God was going to give you plentiful, and there would be a famine. And Joseph was put in command to store up food for Pharaoh, and people came from all over to buy food, including his father. He was estranged from, because remember, his brothers were jealous of him, and they sold him into slavery and made the dad think that a wild animal killed him. But he was in that position because he was going to save and preserve the seed from Adam to Jesus. Anyway, we have this warning now that we need to be growing our own food. The bus system, the transit system we have here, they have an advertisement on the buses, and it says store water while it's available. And I thought that was really interesting. when I told my sister, she said, oh, that's been on the bus forever. And I was like, I have never seen it on the bus. But if our municipality is telling us to store water, there's a reason. Although I heard that we found some aquifers in our area and we have water's plentiful, but you know how that goes. Other places that don't have water, they'll figure out how to get your water, trick you out your water, other states. But in any case, I decided that it's important to store water. I choose not to buy water in plastic bottles because plastic leaks poisons into your water. I don't care if they say it's BPA free and all that kind of stuff. No, plastic is just not good. So I found a system where I could store my water in glass bottles. There are restaurants and places that serve wine, and they're in those nice bottles. Let me grab a bottle. This so happens to be my agave in a glass Monin bottle, but I save these and I buy, for example, cork off of Temu or Amazon or someplace where you can get that stuff. But you just basically clean them out, and then you fill them with water, put a cork in it, and go sit it in your garage, your bedroom closet, up on a storage shelf, tuck it around the house, behind the couch, wherever you can hide water. I would say do that because you're going to need it. If you store it outside around the property, you know, put it in a shed, because we've got sheds outside. I've got places I can put water, but I'm going to suggest that you do that. But that's a free resource to go get the bottles that they're already throwing away that they don't want. You ask them for them, they give you the bottles, because otherwise some places they have to recycle them, or in our town they recycle them. In other places, I suppose they just throw it out and it's just a nuisance, but we could use that. I watched Mr. Paul Gauci with Back to Eden Garden. He said to grow fruit trees, which I thought was really wise, because he said you don't have to do anything with fruit trees, well, except prune it, but it will provide food for generations. So that's what we're doing. We planted 3 fruit trees last year, but trees take a while to grow. So I bought them and they were a couple years old. They're really not, you know, of any size to be producing fruit. But we have some time. So I'm going to put as many fruit trees in as I can this year, maybe adding another 3 to 4, because I really want the yard to have, just go outside and pick what you want to eat, and then grow all my other vegetables up around those trees. It's important that when you, if you don't have a place to grow food, move somewhere where you can. Listen, if we did the family thing, generations, where we have the grandma, the kids, the grandkids in the house, and we all work together, we could get a home and make this work. We have to start living the way they did in the Bible. There are some cultures that still do that to this day. Asian families, it is typical for a grandparents to live in the house with their kids and help raise the grandchildren while the parents, their kids, go out to work. The grandma and grandfather have the little kids. It's a wonderful system. I happen to live with my daughter and her husband, and my granddaughter lives here, and we live in a home and we work together, and everybody puts the money in, and that's how we make that work. When you're buying seeds, I would suggest you get seeds that are organic or heirloom seeds that are non-GMO, because they sterilize the seeds. So seeds don't produce, and God gave us seed to produce fruit. That's not what's going on in the world. They are sterilizing those seeds and making sure they don't grow again, because somebody is hoarding seeds and they're going to be in control. So whoever has the food wins. So if you have your own, you don't have to worry about it. And if we really did this the way God had it, he put Adam and Eve in a garden, and we were commanded to feed the poor. In the Bible, when they fed the poor came by. If you harvest your field, you weren't allowed to take everything. You had to leave the corners. And so then poor people would come and they could glean and get some food. And, you know, that's how God did it. And that's how we're supposed to do. We don't do that these days anymore. I'm going to say, watch YouTube videos on how to garden. Get ideas from other people. That's what I do. because it's important for us to be ready and to be prepared. Because you know the story about the 10 virgins, 5 wise and 5 foolish. The 5 wise were ready. They had their oil in their lamps. Listen, if you're wise, you would grow your own food and feed your own self, and stop buying the stuff from the grocery store anyway. Sometimes we don't know where that stuff comes from. And if we were really doing it God's way, and I'm trying to live in a kingdom, so I know people say that's not necessary. No, it is. If you live in the kingdom of God, that's what he does. He teaches us how to provide for ourselves, and he blesses the land, and it's going to produce. And my soil is very fertile. Watch Paul Gauchi, the Back to Eden gardening. The man is blessed in that area. God has given him that as a gift. I did visit him. And so if you have any questions, I mean, I'm fine if you put up questions, but I'm really going to encourage us to look on YouTube. I watch James Prigioni, and he has Tuck, his little dog that eats the carrots and loves to eat the fruit around on his land. I want a garden. I am excited to get my garden this year, and I'm paying $1,000 for the company to come and give me some soil, because we had some work done in the yard, and they kind of upset my little soil balance, and I need to get it back stable. So I need some compost soil, and I'll need more wood chips, because I'm getting ready to pack my garden down. It's getting ready to get ready. So I have like 3 months, and I'm in the winter, so this is the perfect time for me to get my sod down or my compost down and get that soil just nice and juicy, and get the tree companies to bring me some free wood chips that has the green matter and the brown matter, so it breaks down and it feeds my lawn. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to sign off. This video is longer than what I wanted it to be, but hopefully you find it helpful. Whatever you do, listen, God gave us what we need to sustain ourselves, and I've been praying for that gift of wisdom. So read Proverbs and get wisdom. If you're wise, you will be prepared. Some of us feel like, oh, he ain't gonna leave us. No, that he didn't say that to Joseph. He just gave Joseph the word to look, this is what's going on. And Joseph knew to get prepared. So if in the world they're trying to starve us out, kill the seeds, taking the seeds out of the watermelon, I prefer to have my seeds in there, because I want to grow watermelon, if that's the case. Oh, I need to put that on my list, because I think I want to grow me some watermelon too. So I wrote a whole list of stuff I want to grow. And you do the same. Write down what you eat. Okay? Blessings to you, and we'll see you next time in the next video. Bye-bye.